My name is Kevin MacSweeney and I work in private. Firstly, just say really enjoyed Colin's presentation, and one thing I took away from that one was it's good to be an outsider, to be an innovator. So at Broad Lake, we are your ultimate outsiders, and when I say ultimate outsiders, I say we don't sit in your business. So, sorry, I think we're in a slight issue there. So one thing I'm conscious of today is about tech and startup. And when I talk about equity, I talk about venture capital right from the start of LEO, which Tom was talking about earlier, through to venture capital, through to private equity, to more established businesses. So I suppose first and foremost, why explore private equity and what is private equity? Private equity is someone who will come and invest in your business, join you as a shareholder, and help you advance to the next stage of development. Seed capital right through to venture capital through to private equity. It depends on your opportunity and your stage development. So take for example one of our businesses, Visa Libera. All of our businesses are established businesses, but we're startups at some stage. So a lot of them would have been bootstrapped from your point of view. I'm sure that's very familiar. But often some of them would have taken in some seed investors, which is also a good place. So again, it depends on your ambition, but also the size of your opportunity. But because on top of that, timing is key. Timing is of the utmost importance. So you look at the likes of Support Groups, Enterprise Ireland, Invest NI. Two of our businesses are actually based in Northern Ireland, but again, majority would be export. So look for local support before you even engage with private equity or venture capital. So again, timing, when? Often it can actually be dangerous not to look at a partner, because you could have something, you could be at a stage where you're turning over 5-6 million, and you're actually looking at possibly, either the UK, Central Europe, or the US for expansion. You could actually have a competitor that gets there before you. Names like Michael Dell and Bill Gates. Now these are big names, but they went to the private markets first before they went to the public markets. They looked for equity. They said, we're not just looking for money, we're looking for a partner who can help us get to the next stage. So when it does depend on your opportunity. So why? I won't bore you with the graph, but basically, if you look at a business that has got to a stage where it's established, it will reinvest its profits frugally. So you could look at on top of your organic growth, you could be looking at 5% extra growth. You're reinvesting in your business. You're reinvesting in innovation. You could go to a bank. Startups, banks, generally not in the same sentence, which isn't a great thing. But as you develop banks, and banks will look at you, but I think if you take on an equity partner in particular, banks look at you very, very differently. So if you're coming with your team, there could be a couple of you, and you're saying, oh, we've got a great business, we've got a couple of customers, banks saying, okay, that's fine, but we see you as a big risk. But if you take on an equity partner who puts a bit of money behind you, but also expertise behind you, it shows it's almost due diligence for the bank for them to invest in you. So you look at that and you say you could grow by 10% a year. The reason I say 10% a year is you're focused on paying back the bank also. So equity, whether it be venture capital equity, private equity, depending on your raft and where you're at in the cycle, you're looking at the guts of 20% growth. All of our businesses, we're investing in 7 different businesses in 7 different areas. The majority of them will be doing more than 25% growth each year, because they're not just focused on local markets, they're not just focused on existing products, they're constantly innovating new products. And I'll go through a couple of examples in a couple of minutes. So again, I would say it's important to look at equity. I'm not saying that equity toolbox. And again, that's back to Colin earlier, who's also obviously making motorcycles. So we look at Merlin, we look at 2468 and Visa Libera. All of these businesses are established businesses doing a minimum of 10 million turnover. They were all startups, depending on the years. But you look at Merlin does about 30 million sterling. That was a startup back in the year 2000 by a man in his 50s. So that is one point I will always make. It's never too late. But also, if you have a product that you feel is good enough, you can get there, but you need to find the right partner. 2468 back in 2003 and Vita Liberata 2005. So if we look at 2468 in particular, it's a services business, it's not a sexy business. It's water coolers, it's coffee, it's hygiene. But the growth strategy there was, it was a business that was 80% in Ireland and 20% in the UK because of a customer. So we looked at that and we said, right, Ireland, okay, we're going through a tough time, and this was back in early 2009, and it was, okay, where do we go? And we looked at the UK and we decided, do we put a sales team on the ground? Do we invest in a sales team? That kind of organic growth can be quite expensive. So we looked at an acquisition model. Acquisitions is one thing that can have a good payback if you've got the right team. The team is key, but ambition is key. So 2468 has made over a dozen acquisitions in the UK. 85% of that business is now in the UK. It's a route-based business, coffee, water, hygiene. So again, it's not tech, but everything to do with that business is on a mobile phone. Every driver knows exactly what he's doing every hour of a day, and that's where you can pull efficiencies, because a lot of the businesses in the UK that these guys are buying are inefficient. They don't look at technology. They're not looking at mobile phones as a tool for making themselves efficient, for satisfying their customer, but for most importantly, listening to their customer. Because the customer can also engage with them through a tool on a mobile phone. So again, as I say, unsexy business, but pivoting towards a sexy sector. Vita Liberata. Now I'm going to start showing a bit of knowledge into a product that I should have no knowledge. It's a tanning brand. Tanning lotions. I'm not a user. Driven by a lady called Alison Hogg. Alison had a vision of producing an organic tan that would be a global player. So it would be up against the likes of L'Oreal, Saint-Tropez, all the big names. But it's now the biggest player in its space in the UK and the US, and is now driving into Asia. All of that business, when we got involved back in 2012, between Ireland and the UK, 100% of that business was Ireland and the UK. 60% of that business is outside of the Ireland and the UK now, and the majority of that is coming from the US. So when Vita and Alison came to us, they were saying, right, this is what we're looking at. We're an established business, but the opportunity is the US and Australasia. Australasia is one that'll take a bit longer, but we focused initially on the US. And what was the route to market? It was through high-end retailers. But what Vita could have done was they could have gone straight to distributors. They could have put the products into hands of distributors, but the issue with that is it's a high-end product, it's an organic product, and needs to be high-end and high-end set on high-end shelves. So it could have ended up in Walgreens, it could have ended up in a drugstore, but they targeted high-end retailers, and that's where the growth came from. What it is it's a vision, it's a strategy, but it's how you execute, and don't get sidetracked by noise. So Vita today has trebled the workforce, has grown 4 times in size, which is phenomenal for a business like that, and is continuing to grow. But this isn't just looking at the US now for growth, it's now looking for Asia for growth, which is a whole new suite of products, skin lightening products. So again, it's innovation, investing in innovation, not just in markets, but also in clever people and innovation. Merlin. As I said, Michael set that business up in 2000. He had a background in shower enclosures. So you think it's shower enclosures, he's shower enclosures. First of all, he's talking to me about coffee and water coolers, and now he's talking about shower enclosures. So Merlin have produced over 3 million shower enclosures across Ireland and the UK, and they're based in Kilkenny. They'd be the biggest producer of high-end shower enclosures in the UK, and that growth has been exponential over what would have been a tough few years. And the reason for that was they never compromised. They didn't go for low-hanging fruit. They didn't say, right, we'll target the social housing market and push, high volume, low quality stuff into the market. They didn't compromise on their brand, and they kept to high end, and that was key. Because if you've got a high end product and you drift, automatically you're damaging your brand. So Merlin has high end to its suite of products, but I suppose when we got involved, really, what was it about? It was about shaping management, but investing in new product development, because supply chain is so important in that business, and it's having the right people. You have to out-innovate the big guys. There's a lot of big players in the US looking to approach into the UK market, and it becomes a bit of a defense strategy, but it's always good to be in that position of, these guys are looking at you as the market leader. They're constantly watching you and to see what you're doing. Last year they came out with a new product, and again shower enclosures came out with a new product, and Grower came out a year after with a copy of the same product. But it's about being first to market and being seen as first to market for those products. So, is it right for you? Is equity right for you? You could have an established business, it could be growing at a slow rate, and that's fine. Slow rate is okay if you're focused on one market. You have to be looking at multiple markets, and you have to be looking at export. You're going to die otherwise. So what do? Do you look at acquisitions? Absolutely. Do you look at new products? Absolutely. But it's the cocktail of getting all that right. But it's an outside perspective on that, on those strategies and those opportunities, because running a business day to day, you're very, very focused on the day to day running of that business. And when Colin said it's good, taking in outsiders is good, because it's an outside perspective on your business. Sometimes we might say things that you don't want to hear, but that's good. You've got to this stage where you have customers, you're growing, and there's future growth. But you need an outside perspective on your business, because often you can just you don't see the wood from the trees, and you can get lost. So again, it depends on your opportunity, size of your opportunity, but your willingness to take in outsiders. And I'll leave it on